Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is March the 9th, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Having a nice, cozy little Saturday. I think it's a little bit cooler today. I think it's supposed to be a little bit of a cooler weekend in Cincinnati. So yeah, I'm enjoying being all snuggled up by myself. Let's see here. Food corner from last night. We're back on pizza day. Hooray, hooray, hooray. I went and got Domino's and I got a pepperoni and pineapple pizza with extra cheese. And I gotta say, normally sometimes I don't clock the extra cheese when I get it. I'm like, oh, this wasn't worth it. But this was nice. It was nice to get a little goopy, a little nice little extra cheese. Anyway, I also got another pizza because the deal, the two medium, $6.99 each. Gotta love it. I will say that's usually the biggest reason why I don't get the extra cheese. You gotta pay the extra money, though it's not too bad. I got a sausage and spinach pizza with a barbecue sauce base. And this was the experimental pizza. I hadn't had their spinach, I don't think ever. So, I mean, but usually it's fine. Every once in a while I'll do that to my own pizzas at home. Throw little pieces of lettuce or spinach, whatever. You should say spinach. That is what it is, right? But yeah, it turned out pretty good. I will say the sausage and spinach pizza didn't maybe look the greatest, but it tasted really good. So I enjoy that. And then also what I did every once in a while is I'll just go ahead and add a couple of toppings on my own every once in a blue moon. So I just put a couple of pickles on each of them, and I was like, oh yeah. So yeah, it was a good pizza. I really enjoyed it. I'm very full. Maybe this is a little TMI, but I'm a little gassy, and that's a little bit of a bummer. But hopefully I don't. Hopefully you don't hear any toots on this episode. Also, other things that I hopefully you don't hear. My neighbors are jamming, and that's okay. We love to see it. I love people, enjoying their Saturday. Hopefully that doesn't get picked up. Hopefully my Blue Yeti does me well. But yeah, on that note, let me go ahead and do my startup, and then we'll get into some news. All right. Our first story comes from CNN. Deadly Russian missile struck close to Zelensky and Greek leaders' convoy. A Russian missile exploded close to a convoy carrying Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis during a deadly attack on the Black Sea port city of Odessa on Wednesday. The group felt the impact of the strike and saw a mushroom cloud of smoke, according to a source familiar with the situation, who put the location of the strike around 500 meters from the convoy. 5 people were killed in the strike and more were wounded, a spokesperson for the Ukrainian Navy, Dmytro Plinchuk, told CNN, though neither Zelensky or Mitsotakis were injured. Zelensky frequently makes high-risk trips to the front lines and has welcomed dozens of world leaders to Ukraine over more than 2 years of war with Russia. But Wednesday's attack may represent one of the closest calls for the president. Excuse me. The strike's proximity to Mitsotakis, the leader of a NATO member state, also underlines the dangers of such visits and the potential global repercussions of the conflict. So yeah, I've been kind of putting off a little bit of Ukrainian news. We've been pretty busy on the news wire, I feel. So, I said, hey, okay, Saturday, full stop. Let's make sure we get it in. So happy to do that today. I mean, granted, not that it's like good news or anything. Never happy to report people dying, conflict, ongoing. But that is where we're at. It does seem like more or less, Zelensky kind of used this to kind of lobby, for more, Ukrainian aid and support. and that's smart. That's all they really can do out of these kind of situations. Though that to be said, the big, what is it, the $60 billion aid package is still being held up, by Congress. That's not making any waves. It's not really moving. So, there's that. But there's another half of this update that I didn't want to cover. There's more to read, but it's kind of extra excess. Like I said, no one out of that convoy was hurt or anything like that. But yeah, from the BBC, Ukraine war. Kyiv says 7 dead as drone strike sinks Russian ship. Let's see here. Ukrainian intelligence says 7 people have been killed and 6 more injured after a Russian patrol ship was hit and sunk in a sea drone attack. Also, just in the sake of order operations, this took place a little bit before the strike that happened that I just covered on Odessa. But the Sergei Kotov was allegedly hit in the early hours of Tuesday morning. That is the name of the ship, by the way. Ukraine's military intelligence service said the Black Sea Fleet ship suffered damage to the stern as well as right and left sides. The Kremlin is yet to comment, but some Russian bloggers confirmed the sinking of the Sergei Kotov. The BBC has not been able to independently verify the extent of the damage of the ship. In a telegram post, Ukraine Main Intelligence Directorate, or HUR, said 52 crew members were evacuated. The Sergei Kotov is one of four patrol ships completed for the Russian Navy's Project 2216. It had previously been attacked by Ukraine in September last year. Also, I think that this was involved in the Snake Island. Let's see. According to Ukraine, the vessel played a part in the attack on Snake Island on the first day of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, along with the Moskva cruiser. The Moskva, there you go, was sunk by Ukraine in 2022. So, this is as adding to, a slew of kind of victories at sea, and, in the Black Sea for Ukraine. So I feel like that's good for morale. I think there was another ship. I feel like we did cover it. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, last month, another ship, the Caesar Kunikov, was sunk in a drone attack just south of the city of Yalta. At the time, Ukraine's intelligence directorate released a video of what it said were Magra V5 sea drones striking the Caesar Kunikov. So, hey, at least they're winning in some places, so that's good. I really don't know in terms of what the future is going to hold in terms of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. If we're really just going to get more of the same of this kind of stuff just on loop, but we'll see. Let me see here. Let's take it to the States. Let's go on to the border, actually. From the Associated Press, helicopter carrying National Guardsmen and Border Patrol agents crashes in Texas, killing 3. A helicopter flying over the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas crashed Friday, killing 2 National Guard soldiers and a Border Patrol agent, the military said. Another soldier on board was injured. The UH-72 Lakota helicopter was assigned to the federal government's border security mission when it went down near Rio Grande City, according to a statement released by Joint Task Force North. The cause was under investigation. The crash happened mid-afternoon Friday while the helicopter was conducting aviation operations, according to the statement. No other details were provided. Starr County Judge Eloy Vera, the county's top official, said those on board included 1 woman and 3 men. He said the person who was injured was in critical condition. The names of those killed were not immediately released. Obviously condolences, to people involved. It's always unfortunate when you cover, people hopping into a helicopter and then dying. Obviously this was over, some government military stuff. And I do think it's very fucking unfortunate that people die doing something like this. Unfortunate, like enforcing, a border policy that I personally don't agree with. Um, and dying in a way that's kind of like what I would deem kind of frivolous. But at the same time, life's life. It's obviously very sad, and hopefully, I cover less of these fucking helicopter instances. But I say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Never put me in a helicopter. Like I just don't want to be in one. Whether it's in a combat thing, whether it's in a training operation, whether it's a tour around LA. I don't put me on a plane like that. Or not plane, a helicopter. I will say I'm fine to be on a plane, though we've covered a lot of fucking bad plane incidents out of Boeing. I think I might be. This is a bit of side news. I think I've literally like kind of missed the story. I might have fell in the abyss. I think there was another plane incident that happened. Like a wheel fell, and it's happening again. There was another Boeing too. That's a bit of side news. By all means, do some free roaming and find that yourself. But yeah, I mean, it's scary to be up in these skies. I tell you what. Let me see here. Is there anything else I really wanted to cover out of this story before we go to some more government stuff? Oh, let's pull this fun fact up at the end. The helicopter that was flying as part of Operation Lone Star, Texas Governor Greg Abbott the helicopter that was flying as part of Operation Lone Star, Texas Governor Greg Abbott's nearly $10 billion border mission that has tested the federal government's authority over immigration. So yeah, I mean, it's just so much money, so much resources going to this shit. We gotta keep them out. We gotta keep out all these illegals. It's like, no, you don't. Like, I truly do feel that you could change this border policy that we have and be more open and actually have people go throughout this good country that we have. And I feel like we would actually have a lot better change, and it would be probably better for the economy. I know I'm just kind of ranting and raving, and this could be a whole other podcast thing, but I don't know. I truly, that's why I'm really so bummed out about how Democrats have, instead of pushing for more of a progressive policy, they have instead retreated because it's an election year. I mean, that's the excuse at least they're using. But like, oh, we need to be actually more like conservatives and mimic what they want and mimic what they're selling to people. And what's sad is, I mean, people in my state, like the state of Ohio, I really do feel like they agree with this conservative logic. Like, I think some of my coworkers, a lot of my coworkers, which is really fucking sad. And then even some of my friends, I'm sure if I actually press them to it, they might be like, I don't know, man, you got to do something, right? We're talking about security here. Like, and it's like, ugh, it's an ick. It's an ick for me, personally. But hey, it is what it is. Sometimes I'm just here to kind of cover it and, bitch about it. Sometimes that's my limit. But yeah, we have one more thing to cover before I let you go. So yeah, let me, you know what that means? It's classic break time. I know I said it was cold, but I feel like I'm hot. I don't know if it's because of nerves or whatever, but ooh, I'm a little steamy. Ooh, boy howdy, that always helps. Okie dokie. From NPR, Senate passes spending package out hours ahead of shutdown deadline. Whew. So this is kind of a common theme that is kind of a part of the podcast as apropos that I talk about the government shutdown, the looming pending doom that might come. But luckily, since I've been on watch, it hasn't happened. Not that I'm doing anything about it, of course. I don't think I'm even a good luck charm, but it'd be nice if I was. But the Senate voted 75-22 to approve a package of 6 spending bills that will fund a portion of the federal government through the end of the fiscal year on September 30th. Lawmakers are currently working on the details of the final 6 regular spending bills, which must be approved by March 22nd. So yeah, I mean, this happens in two waves. So we were sweating over the first wave, and we covered that. We cleared that hurdle. But there's another package that is potentially harder to get cleared because it's more sensitive issues that we're gonna get to. Um, that that remains to be seen. Let me go ahead and just cover. Let's see if we even have it highlighted. Yeah, the package funds 6 government areas, including agriculture, rural development, food and drug administration, and related agencies, commerce, justice, science, and related agencies, energy and water development, environment and related agencies, military, construction, veterans affairs and related agencies, and transportation, housing, and urban development and related agencies. My eyes went cross reading that shit. The second package, which must be completed by the end of the month, includes defense, financial services, and general government, homeland security, labor, HHS, legislative branch, and state and foreign operations. So yeah, that'll be a little bit maybe harder to pass, but hopefully it does. I know that there were some Republican holdouts. Let's see, Senators Rand Paul, Mike Lee. They were flirting with forcing an hours-long shutdown. The senators were demanding the chance to vote on amendments that have virtually no hope of passing. The core legislation is the result of a lengthy bipartisan negotiation with all 4 leaders in Congress. It passed in the House hours in the week with a large partisan majority. Let's see here. Paul Lee and the other detractors did not have enough votes to pass the amendments to block the bill, but they did have the power to delay proceedings long enough to allow a brief funding lapse. Which it's literally flirting with disaster for what? For political points? I never understand it. I never fucking get it. These are things that you should be able to, as a group of politicians in my fucking mind, be able to sit down and say, hey, you guys feel your way about it. We feel our way about it. Let's just literally sit here like adults and just fucking hash it out right here, right now. But instead, they do fucking theater, fucking politics, and they play and they play and they play. And they go, oh, we're trying to do the best we can so that we get you, constituent, what you want. And it's more times than not, it's not. It's just whatever a lobbyist wants at the end of the day, or whatever they think is going to get them the most points, to make sure that they can stay in this fucking position of power. So, it's a made up town to these motherfuckers, a lot of them. But, I hope that there isn't a government shutdown in my, in my tenure as a podcaster. I would love that because I don't want to see that shit. I've only, I mean, technically we've lived through it. I've lived through it, but, you didn't notice it. But I wasn't in those government positions all the time. I was, I don't know, doing some fucking, I was working at a retail store or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, it's important to cover, so I try to cover it. You know what I mean? Do my due diligence. But yeah, that's it. That's the episode. That's all we have. All right, cool, awesome. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/IsaiahNews. You can become a newsy today. I shout you out at the top of the month and plug a project if you'd like. And free ways to hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. Let's see. You can follow me or the podcast on any of the socials you're on. And hopefully you're subscribed to the YouTube. Love to get more subscribers. Really helps out a lot. Hit the like button. Hit a nice little comment. Share. Sharing is caring. And, I mean, you can do that one on any platform you're on. It is equally helpful. So thank you so much. Thanks so much for being a friend. Thank you so much for tuning in. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.